let me know if everything's okay.
I see you. I hear you. You're in a theater, in a rehearsal room.
I'm in a theater, a very small little theater in Aurora, Minnesota. And I just finished staging Act 2, so I'm a mess right now.
I was telling everyone, I was like, she had rehearsal all day. Just FYI.
Yes,
So
I did.
it's so good to see you, Leah. I'm so happy
You too.
you're a part of this. This is so exciting. And I mean, I wanted to have you over because you're amazing and we had to have you over at some point to chat. But you are also a part of one of the very, very few performances happening in the States right now, or in the summer in general.
Yeah.
So how does that feel, especially, well, if you can tell us a little bit about what the performance is and the festival, and I'm interested in how does that feel after so many months of complete break, and there's so many colleagues of yours, I imagine, that are still on a break. How are you feeling?
It's crazy. I have a lot of mixed emotions. I feel very lucky to be doing this. I feel a little bit scared because, there's always risk. I feel like it's a true gift to be singing right now. And it's not for money, it's for my soul.
Yeah.
When they called me, I found out about this through my dear friend Tata Sanakidze. She called me and she said, they just lost their Tosca. My friend is the conductor. Will you do it? It's not for money. It's for your soul. You need to do it for your soul. Yeah. And I said, yes, absolutely. Because it was that point where, so many of my colleagues and I were speaking, and it was like, we just need to create. We just need to sing. We just need to do this. So I am happy to be singing my favorite role, Tosca, in the hardest time that the world has ever seen. And it's well, maybe not ever, but in our modern life, the hardest time. We're in a global pandemic, it's like I get to make music through it and share some joy with some people.
Yes, it definitely, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you over, to get to talk about the things that are happening that give us hope, that give us hope that there is a way, and that it might be different for a little time, but that it can still be done. So that being said, you already started rehearsals. What can you share with us as far as the staging, the production, the logistics of the performances that are going to be different, and trying to respect safety, I imagine?
Yeah, so we're doing it. They've switched the venue. We're doing it outside, which I love. Opera al fresco. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the location is incredible. It's beautiful countryside. We are doing it a socially distanced production, but there are moments where we do come together briefly, and it's okay because the cast, we've all been quarantined together. So we haven't, we're staying in the same place. It's like a big, happy family up here,
Yeah.
We're kind of all, locked in one place and staying together. And so we're okay with each other. So we are, but in order to make the audience comfortable, and in order to just that extra level of precaution, everything is not going to be normal Tosca. It's not going to be as physical. Don't get me wrong, it's still physical, and you'll still get the idea of violence in Act 2, but it's not as physical. The same with Act 3. It's a modern production. It's taking place in Mexico, which I love.
That's so cool. I didn't know.
So cool. Our director, Chia, is from Ecuador, and she really thinks that Tosca is the essence of Latin America in many ways. And so she wanted to bring, to modernize it and bring it to Latin America, which I think it's amazing.
That is so exciting. I had no idea. That was like,
yeah.
I'm so glad I asked. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, and it's going to be live streamed. We don't have any of the details yet,
Great.
but it is. So, but the audience, it's a huge theater, but we're only selling 250 tickets, and everybody's going to be distanced. You know, they will work out those logistics, and then there is lawn seating too, so people can be outside in the lawn, which is really cool. But we're doing, I mean, the people that are running this festival are great, and they love opera, they love music, and so they're taking every precaution to keep us safe and to make us feel safe, which is great. And it's world class. The music is world class. Gabriel Heine is conducting, and he has been at the Mariinsky for a million years. So he's wonderful. And my cast, Daniel Sutin is the Scarpia, and that voice, it's legit. And when you hear it, you're going to be like, where has he been? It's one of those voices that you're like, why aren't you singing everywhere, kind of thing. And Rafael Davila is the Cavaradossi, and I've actually known Rafi since I was just starting in the business. I was a young artist in Sarasota, Florida, at the Sarasota Opera, and he was singing Duca in Rigoletto. And so I've known him since the very beginning. So it's really cool to reunite with him in a leading role kind of way. So, and he's amazing and such a nice, kind colleague. And it's amazing. It's so great to be here and, you know, be doing it. I'm not going to lie, though. It took me a second to feel what staging rehearsals were like again.
For sure. I mean, those are all muscles, you know, like 3 months. It's some time off for sure. For sure. Yeah. For sure. And so you mentioned, I was going to ask you, but I kind of already knew this, that Tosca is if one of your favorites, if not your favorite. And is this your second Tosca?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one was in Pittsburgh.
Yes. So
how, this being your second time that you do it, and it being a character that you care about so much, and this is a particular situation, have you already realized things are going to be different than last time as far as your portrayal of the character? Do you feel like the staging in a way is going to limit you a little bit, or?
No, I don't feel limited at all. I feel Chia is very collaborative, and she likes the fire that I bring to the character, which is great because it's Latin America and there's a lot of fiery women there.
Yes.
You know? I'm talking to one right now. But I feel like, you know, I had 5 days notice to sort of clean up my Surprise! Exactly. So I was still memorizing, recommitting to memory after 2 years, Act 3, while we were staging it. So that was fun. But I feel like I can go a little bit deeper with her now. I feel like I played her. I figured out who she is, because I feel like Tosca's always been a part of me since I was 11 and I saw the opera for the first time, you know. And so I feel like I can build on her now from what I did in Pittsburgh. I'm very proud of the Tosca I created in Pittsburgh, very proud. But I feel I can't wait to add layers, you know.
Of course. Yeah. And this will be the second of many, I'm sure.
Yeah, the second. I have another one hopefully this year if it doesn't get canceled. So we're hoping. So with all of this being said, well, and you bringing up the future, I know everything is so uncertain still. Yeah.
But are there things that you're looking forward to, new roles, even if it's, you know, in the not so near future, thinking more like 2021, anything you could share with us that's exciting?
Well, I don't have anything really new, except I'm gonna do a Forza soon. Hopefully.
Okay.
Forza del Destino. Hopefully, dear Lord, please let it come through. But that will be a new one. But the rest are all pretty much repeats. I haven't, another Trovatore, another Aida. Maometto Secondo is happening again. Hopefully, if it's not canceled, Tosca comes back. What else? Oh, Dallas rescheduled our Don Carlo. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's an amazing role for you.
Thank you.
I saw you twice.
Yes, you did, girl. Yes, you did. I love Elisabetta. She's perfect.
Yep. Okay, so those are great things. So let's talk a little bit, talk about the uncomfortable stuff.
Yes, please.
These past 3 months, it's been so hard for everyone, and it's still very hard in a lot of parts, of the world. We're all dealing with it. Our industry is suffering. So how has it been for you? How, despite all the negatives, have you found, new things or some positive and hopeful things that you've done during this time that you might bring into the post-COVID world with you?
Yeah, well, so I started out very depressed, as we all did, and it was really hard. It took me about a month and a half to sort of get out of my funk. And then with all the uncertainty. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to start doing conversations. So I started having Live with Leah. And I believe I was the first one to start doing the live conversations. And then it just took off. And I'm happy that it took off, because it's important for us singers to feel like we still have a voice,
Yeah.
And then all the turmoil in Minnesota with George Floyd happened, and I felt like my time needed to go on pause, and I didn't want to to seem that I wasn't listening to what was going on in the world, because I wanted to really take that time and push pause and really listen to what was going on and try to do my part and be as anti-racist as I could be, because that's the only way to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did when I paused Live with Leah. But I'm bringing Live with Leah back in August.
Cool.
So you can look forward. And I believe Erin Morley will be my first guest, which will be fun. But so that's what I did. And I have been teaching a little bit too online. I haven't really advertised it because I have a full roster already in Washington, D.C. And I've been working with my girls there via Zoom. But now Michael Fabiano has launched this amazing Resonance app. And I'm part of that launch. And so I'm going to move my roster exclusively to Resonance. That's taking place this week. So hopefully by next week or the week after, we'll be able to go full-fledged on that. And I think that's genius that he was able to do that so quickly. And he saw a need and turned it over like that. So go Michael.
And especially with that, I think it's going forward, as you guys get really busy again, it's gonna make your life easier for sure.
Oh, definitely. So, and I don't think that I'll stop teaching just because I start working again, because I love it too much.
Yeah.
It's my second passion next to performing, because I love working with, the generation after me, like you. You're kind of people, Eugenia. You're amazing. And I love working with singers like you that just are hungry and want to learn everything and want to create and are willing to go there. That's what I love to work with. So, so I think I'll still do that. I feel like social media has given us a platform. I think it's got its negatives and its positives. I mean, singers, we're singing for no money on social media, and I feel the tides are going to turn. And we are going to, a lot of us have spoken, I've spoken with a lot of friends who are going to start offering recitals, but are going to ask for donations. And I think that's important. because it's our livelihood, and if, you offer a live recital via, Facebook Live or whatever, and you ask for a $20 donation, I think that's more than.
Yeah. And most singers, I think, know by now that it's even more work than a regular recital. It's so much work to make it happen.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
much work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes,
So how has the teaching online been for you?
It started off a little bit shaky because I like to be in the room, I like to, not to be cheesy and quote Hamilton, but the room where it happens.
Yes.
I love to be there, and I love I'm very hands-on and ears on, but I feel like you can do a lot of detail work over Zoom or Skype or however you decide to teach. You can't really hear decibels, but you can hear speed of vibrato. You can hear pitch really well.
Yeah.
If anything is off, you can hear that and you can fix it.
Yeah.
So it's tricky when you have bigger voices because a lot of times the speakers short out and you have to adjust. But I was anti online teaching at first, and now I love it. So I feel like it's pretty intimate that way.
Yeah, yeah. And there's something to be said. I think before this, it was kind of rare, I feel like all teachers had like maybe one or two people that were like somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And now, in a way, the fact that it's being normalized, it actually opens a lot of doors.
Definitely.
To people who are, we see there's so many master classes and virtual programs, and I feel like in a way it allows for people, from places where there's not necessarily a lot going on, now they have access to people like you. It's really cool.
Well, there was a post on Facebook from a colleague, I don't know, it would have been a few months ago now, about, is it a good idea to open up ourselves to being contacted as freely as we are? And I said, yes, absolutely. Because with the saturation of high caliber of singers, the world's opportunities are endless. You can direct message Lisette Oropeza and get a lesson with her. You can direct message me, get a lesson with me. You can call Michael Fabiano and say, I would like to coach with you. That's the beauty of what this time has done, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Again, like, it might be a little cheesy, but if you see the positive side, this has opened up a lot of opportunity.
Right.
Different opportunities, that, as much as a lot of bad is happening, once, because I think it's going to coexist. Once we get over the worst part, all of this is going to coexist with what we had before, and hopefully a lot of the things that weren't so great before are going to change. So it's an interesting time to be alive.
It sure is. But thank God we have music. When I arrived here in Minnesota for the first time and we had our musical sing through, and I was singing Visidarte with the conductor, and the rest of the cast was here and the administration and everything, I couldn't continue. I sang through like till the middle. On Die di Gioielli, I lost my shit. Completely lost it. I had to stop. My throat closed. I was choking. I was crying. The whole room was crying. It was a moment of thank you, God, that we are here making music together. I can't even, if you're not a musician, I don't know if you can think, if there's anything that you can liken it to, but when you are called to be a singer, it's painful to not sing.
Yeah.
When you are called to conduct or called to play the piano or called to, I don't know, sing in the chorus even, it's like you must create. So when I was singing Visidarte and those words, Visidarte, Visidamore, that's what we live for.
Yeah.
Art and love. And it was like such a huge release. And I can't even describe the moment, but it was so joyful.
Yeah. And I think we all agree that, I mean, it's a performance and it's a music making, but it's making it with everyone else in the room and being with those people. And it doesn't happen on your own. And there is so much, we are forced right now. It's better than nothing. At least we have technology, but we are forced to, practicing alone or practicing with a track or singing with a track. And it can be painful because we love the pianists we work with. We love our cast, and
it's the collaborative effort of the art form.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes opera what it is. Not only, I mean, to get to that performance, which is a collaboration in itself, there's all the rehearsals and everything that happens behind the scene. I mean, especially with in your case with this festival, all the effort that is going on behind the scenes to make this happen is incredible. Because it would probably be much easier to say, you know what, coronavirus, like, see you next year.
Right. And that's what's so beautiful about Vida, the woman who runs this festival, is her baby. Literally, she grew up here. She wanted to give a gift to the community. And so she created this festival. And she wasn't, they don't have any coronavirus up here. There's no cases, but so essentially we're the risks because we've come from all over the place. So we're the risk. But she did not want the virus to keep them down, to take away that gift from her community. So she was willing to go the extra mile to make it work. And it's definitely cost her more money, but she feels that the arts are so important and vital right now. We are necessary. We are necessary workers, because without the arts, without music, there's no peace. So it makes me cry to think about that, but it's true.
Yeah, it is so true. And, and we've seen the memes and posts about this, but this whole time it's probably going to be 4 months now. And everyone's surviving these days and these hours with art, with whatever art is available, it being Netflix, live streams, Instagram. The concept of art and artist is so broad. Anyone who's being creative is an artist to my eyes.
Absolutely.
And it is so important. And to us, even if we're not able to go in person, to have the ability to see a live stream, of the performance you guys are going to have is so hopeful.
I agree. And it's an honor to be a part of it. It was a no-brainer for me to say yes. I mean, I didn't ask how much they were going to pay. I was just like, yes. Even though I looked at the map and I was like, where is this? Let me zoom in. We're in little Chisholm, Minnesota, way north, almost to Canada. And it's like...
You did move, though, right, during the quarantine?
I did.
You moved?
Yeah, it's back to Ann Arbor, Michigan. So, so I'm closer to Minnesota. So I was able to drive, which was nice.
Yeah.
But by the way, I don't recommend moving during a pandemic.
I was going to ask you, I was like, how was moving during...
It was something, let me tell you. Actually, I used Mayflower Moving Company, and I'm giving them a shout out because they were great. It made it so easy for me. But it was still difficult because moving is a traumatic experience. And
it is. No matter how small the move is, it's always traumatic.
It's like you have to go through a grieving process. It's like loss. They liken it to loss. And it's like... So having to do that, and then in the middle of a pandemic, while having everything canceled, I needed to lay on my couch for a week straight.
Yeah.
Which really ended up being on my friend Todd Schreiber's couch. He's on here. I saw him pop on earlier, but I was on his couch for a week because I didn't have a bed yet. So which was also crazy. But
yeah,
here we are. We've moved past that, and now I'm in Minnesota, and it's fantastic.
yeah. And evolve roles, because it could have been a different role.
Oh,
but
yeah.
evolve roles, it's Tosca. How special.
Yeah. That's so special. Oh, there he is. Hi, Todd. Oh, so special. Tosca is the epitome of what we do. She is the heart and soul of, I know, me as a person. I identify and relate with her so much because she came from nothing, you know. And my dad came from nothing, you know. He crawled himself. He comes from a, you know, simple background in Waterbury, Connecticut. And he, if you know Waterbury, it's like the melting pot of Connecticut. It's full of, you know, back when he was younger, you had a neighborhood that had the Italians, the Jews, the Black people, and the, I think that's it, living in one neighborhood. They were kind of all pushed into, you know, Immigrantville.
Yeah.
And that's where my dad came from. And he was in, you know, was raised by the Boys and Girls Club there. And he found karate and was able to put all of his energy in that. So knowing that story and knowing where my people came from, and looking at Tosca, she's this street rat with this incredible talent as an opera singer, you know?
Yeah.
So I relate to that. It's like, I am a street rat. Maybe not quite as good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the talent, and you bring yourself up and you perform, and because you have to, and she has to, and she's toasted throughout Rome, you know.
Yeah.
And, or in this case, Mexico City. And to be doing this role now is incredible, because this is the goal. Tosca's the dream, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you might not know yet, but I'm very curious, since this is set in Mexico and she's a Latina, what do the costumes look
like?
like?
Girl. Okay, so my first act dress is neon, which is fabulous. I've essentially picked out my costumes, so if they suck, blame me. The second act is a fuchsia ball gown, much like my Siriano.
Yes. Oh my God, that dress.
It's the same style without the big tulle skirt, but it's a big full skirt with a train, and it's fuchsia, and it's off the shoulders with thick straps, and it's beautiful. And then my Act 3 costume is travel clothes. It's jeans, my Nike Air Force Ones, a leather jacket, and a scarf. So it's like, you know, she's like, come on, we got to go. Let me put my travel clothes on.
Yeah.
So it's very modern. And she's using, not to give it away, but she's using a gun in this production.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's less messy and it's more modern. So, which is great.
I mean, it makes more consistency with the topic. with the
and we just staged Act 2 today, and it is, I am over Scarpia at the end, just like Woody, you know, like looking down on him, and I'm straddling him essentially, but standing up with a gun pointed at his face, and it's visceral and really difficult and really amazing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, you know, she does it accidentally at first. She's like, oh, I have a gun in my purse, because, you know, when you're a woman of her stature in Mexico City, you're carrying a gun.
Yeah.
They all do. Or so says Chia, our director. You know, so the first one, she sort of turns around and like the gun goes off accidentally and hits him in the leg. So she gets to shoot him twice.
Oh, cool. Nice. Cathartic.
Yeah. Exactly.
So how's the schedule looking from today until opening?
We have a day off tomorrow, thankfully, and then we move to the theater on Sunday, and then we're checking really quick, and then we open on the 17th. So it's coming fast. It's gonna be
the 17th, which is next weekend of next week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
But
and
exciting.
it's 2 performances, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, the 17th and the 19th at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Central. Great. And there will be a live stream.
Yes. And as soon as I have that information, I'll pass it on to you.
Yes, I'll share. I was trying to see. I was like, we need to see this. We need to tune in.
Yes,
so
please.
I'm gonna open the floor.
Yeah.
If people have questions, now is your time, because I never leave enough time for questions. So I want to make sure people can. Let me see. Let's scroll in case there was one before. I think we are good. Oh, Santi says staying hungry is key for growth as singers.
Well, yes, but one can't stay hungry for 5 months.
Yeah.
One needs to be fed.
Yes. Agreed. Let's see. We had a young artist from the festival here, Taylor.
Oh, hi, Taylor.
Yeah.
Are you still here?
I don't know if she's still here. I was wondering what the young artists are doing with this production in particular, if they're doing chorus or covering.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, there's one guy who was in the Marilla program. Rafael Porto. And that dude can sing. I heard him singing the Sacristan, and I heard him. I was walking into rehearsal while he was doing his part, and I was like, who is that? And why is he singing this character role?
Oh, there she is, Taylor. We are doing chorus work for Tosca. Okay.
Oh, cool.
And Taylor, I have a question for you, actually. I think I read the course is pre-recorded, or some parts are pre-recorded just for safety measures. Is that correct?
Yes.
We'll see if she answers.
Yes, it is. Can you hear me? Something just happened with my phone.
Yeah, I can hear you. So the chorus parts are pre-recorded. Okay.
Yes. And when they're on stage, they're going to be doing just supernumerary movement. They're not going to be singing on stage at all to keep the risk down.
And did I think I read that in ensemble numbers, you guys are wearing masks? Or is that maybe the chorus members?
I don't know what they're going to do in performance, but in staging rehearsals, we do have masks on while we're marking, but we can't wear masks when we sing. No. So this week we'll take the masks down and we'll start actually singing. Okay. Day 1 music rehearsal, we were all spread out really wide in the little theater here. Yeah. So that we could, you know, do our music, do our singing. Yeah. Without spraying. So
is this the theater where you're rehearsing? Is it part of the festival, or is it something that they're renting? Is it connected to this outdoor space?
Well, I believe that the woman who runs the festival also donated the money for this theater. It's because it's named after her, and it's in the Mesabi High School. So that's where it's not really affiliated, but they do let us rehearse here, which is great. Yeah. Because it's nice to rehearse on a stage as opposed to I've rehearsed back in the start of my career in pet shops, you know, storefronts.
Yeah.
So it's I'm grateful to have a theater.
Yeah, for sure. And so you guys are staying all together in a big house, or?
No, we're in an inn. So a little inn, yeah. Which is great. We've basically got the whole top floor, so it's great. And there's another show here too. They're doing the Medium. So both casts from both shows are staying at the inn. So
is that part of the festival as well?
Yes.
Okay. So are there other concerts going on as well? Is Tosca, the Medium?
And there was a 4th of July concert that was basically an opera gala concert, which I could not be a part of. So, but some of my other cast members were. So, which was great, I heard. So, and they did that very socially distanced. So Yeah, so that's it. They're just the two operas, the Young Artist Program. They're doing, I think, some scenes or something, and then our shows. So
Cool. Cool.
yeah, they're doing it. They're doing a whole festival.
They're doing it. Yeah, I think for a while it's going to be easier to do concerts than opera. So we're gonna see a lot of galas happening. It's just easier to keep at distance.
Absolutely. Galas, recitals, all that stuff. Yeah. Which I love, because doing recitals is one of my favorite things. But
yeah, you had your Carnegie Hall debut that was last year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then you brought that same program other places, right?
I did, yes. I was in Pennsylvania at some place, and where else? Michigan and some other places. So yeah. And we'll probably bring it somewhere else too. Mark and I are always plotting. So Mark Markham, if any of you know him, he's fantastic.
So since we talk a little bit about recitals and all that, I don't know if maybe not everyone knows that you're also an incredible jazz singer, musical theater. And do you have any plans or hopes to do more of that in the future?
Always.
Always.
I have to do it. It's part of me. It's, at Carnegie Hall, I had a whole little set that was, the Great American Songbook, and I, and jazz stuff. I sang In a Sentimental Mood and The Man That Got Away, and that's my jam. I love those songs, and there will always be time for that. So I'm doing I'm actually joining the faculty of my alma mater in the fall. Yeah, at Siena Heights University, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, which I'm really excited about. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but I'm actually going to be working with the musical theater kids, and I'm really excited about that, because the director of the program, Michael Ewan is his name. He wanted me to really, really work with the kids on legit singing and how to really use their breath and how to basically train them classically to do what I do. And that's why I can switch into styles, different styles, because of my training. And so I'm going to hopefully help them do the same. And I'm really excited about that. But because I do that, my hometown where Siena Heights is Adrian, Michigan. I've done so many concerts there, and I'm going to do another one in the fall. So
amazing.
That's where I get to sing with a band and do my jazz stuff. So
yeah. So we have a question from Blueberry Musica. This is a great page from Argentina, by the way. They're my friends.
What a cool name.
So he asks, what jazz standard or song do you like most? That's tough.
Gosh. That's like asking me which child I like most. I think, Sentimental Mood is one. I'm a Sarah Vaughan fanatic and a Dinah Washington fanatic. I love those ladies. Sentimental Mood, the way Sarah Vaughan does that song is just so inside her. It's like an implosion, where you can feel the heat, but you can't see it, but you can feel it. And you're like, what is that? And then she releases at one point and you're like, oh, that's what makes music so great. It's like constantly bubbling under the surface,
Yeah.
And you're waiting for it and you're like, what's happening? So I love that one. And I love Body and Soul. What else do I love? All of them. I love I Want to Be Loved by Dinah Washington. I want to be loved with inspiration. It's like, oh, this woman is at her wit's end, and she's like, I am done being childish about this. This is what I want from you. This is where I want you to touch me and how I want you to touch me.
Yes.
We're not beating around the bush anymore, so to speak. So this is what, and it's fantastic. It's like, come on, dude, wake up. This is what I want. So I love that song.
Yeah.
All of those jazz songs. You know, Nina Simone sings "Sugar in My Bowl," and if you've never listened to "Sugar in My Bowl," listen to "Sugar in My Bowl," and you will be like, yes, it's full of innuendo, but you're like, there's no guessing what this song is about.
We know we're on the same page here.
Exactly. Oh, I love Johnny Hartman too. Love.
Who is your favorite?
Yeah, Sarah Vaughan for sure. Sarah. I mean, I don't know. Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington, Ella Fitzgerald. I love Johnny Hartman. I love Mel Torme. You know, ooh, I'm losing you. I love all of those people. Ella started it all for me, though. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for her.
Let me see. I have a question coming in here. David is asking, do you play any musical instruments?
I do. I took piano lessons for a while, and then I stopped piano lessons, and then I decided I was going to play the piano how I wanted to play the piano, which is kind of how I've done everything in my life.
I love it.
I do it how I want to.
Yeah.
So I am a noodler on the piano. I can read music, but I like to just make stuff up. So that's what I do. And I was in band, and I played the trumpet in band.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm curious, you know, what came first, jazz and musical theater or opera, and how did they inform themselves or each other technically?
Sure. So I blame my father, and I thank my father and my mother. Both were very influential. I mean, I'm Italian. It comes with the territory. You listen to opera. That's like, it's like pop music. It's like drinking water. But it's not, it's just what's played. It's like, you know, on a Sunday afternoon, it's like we're making the gravy and we're listening to Giuseppe Di Stefano sing the Neapolitan songs, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just what happens. But and jazz has always been there too. My dad was a huge jazz aficionado, and also loved Motown. So all of that stuff, I love Motown. It's some of my favorite music. R&B, I grew up singing in church. So all of that stuff works together, you know, and it all informs the other. I think what really helped me tackle coloratura in opera was jazz, especially in the bel canto, because when you're singing bel canto music, it's about give and take, right? And so you've got a melisma in a measure. But if you sing that melisma exactly in tempo, you can't possibly do it. So you've got to stretch here and give back there.
Yeah.
Essentially, you meet the conductor at the end of the musical phrase in tempo. But the middle stuff can be whatever. You know, so that's, I think they inform each other really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest, I pick and choose, you know, I use both together. Both jazz and classical music work well together.
So, bel canto, yeah. That is super, and that what Blueberry is saying, relating bel canto to jazz, really interesting. But it is that because it has that freedom within the structure that really, absolutely, I think can be comparable. So to start to wrap up, unless there's more questions, you've been a young artist, obviously, and you work so much with young artists. What is something hopeful and inspiring you can share with young artists for what's ahead? Because it was already a difficult situation, and now, I mean, we spoke about there being a lot of new opportunity, but it's still a hard situation, and it's going to require much more than just singing well. So what is something you can share with them for hope and inspiration?
So you guys, young artists, any young artists that are watching and listening, there is a place for you. Don't give up because of the bullshit that the world is throwing at us right now. music will always be necessary.
Yeah.
The music industry is evolving at such a rapid speed that we don't know what's coming next. But what is for certain, there will always be room for more singers.
Yeah.
Because there will always be many, many new platforms coming up. So don't give up. Keep singing because it's necessary. And you have a friend in me. You can always reach out to me, young artists. DM me right on Instagram. I will offer.
Slide into my DMs.
Slide into my DMs. I am here for you guys because I have been you. So I know what it feels like.
Oh, thank you. That was
of course
so nice. And I think we're going to let you go because you've had a long day. You need to rest.
I enjoy this so much though. So
it was so good talking to you. You're just so inspiring, and I'm so happy that you are, out of all people, you're given this opportunity with your favorite role, and we're all rooting for you. We'll be just checking in all week and seeing. I know they shared some photos of the stage and how it looks like. So
yeah, and I will try to share some more too. I just haven't had a second to pick up my phone in rehearsals yet, but I will.
Of course.
And I'll share so that you guys can see the process. It's been interesting.
Well, best of luck.
Thank
Toy,
you.
toy, toy. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to everyone.
My absolute pleasure. Seriously, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mwah.